When engineering, capital, and long-term vision converge, constructions on an unprecedented scale begin to reshape the world map. These include mountain tunnels, stretching for dozens of kilometers, suspension bridges spanning vast straits with record-breaking main spans, and high-speed rail networks linking megacities within hours. Skyscrapers rise above global skylines. Newly planned cities emerge from empty land, and iconic museums, temples, and landmark structures become symbols of national identity. On an even larger scale, there are massive water transfer systems crossing regions, canals connecting economic corridors, ports operating at world-leading capacity, and advanced underground transit networks. This is a journey into the greatest constructions on Earth, where bold ideas are executed at a scale powerful enough to transform how humanity lives, moves, and connects. Oriental Pearl Tower, China. Like a spacecraft anchored by the historic river, this tower fascinates the world with its structure of 11 brilliant crystal spheres suspended in mid-air. Standing at 1,535 feet, the work is supported by 3 giant pillars driven deep into the earth like the steel roots of an ancient tree. The abnormality lies in the continuous pearl chain design, which helps disperse the power of fierce storms and creates an unmistakable appearance on the planet. As sunlight falls, the ruby-colored glass layers sparkle, transforming the tower into a massive luxury jewelry piece shining brilliantly in the heart of the city. The most heart-stopping experience awaits you at the glass corridor 850 feet high, where the boundary between your feet and the deep river is just an invisible crystal layer. When night comes, the LED system turns this place into a mystical lighthouse, weaving shimmering dances of color, reflecting on the drifting water surface. Corinth Canal, Greece. Like a sharp knife of the gods carved directly into the earth, this canal is an extreme geometric wonder that completely separates a peninsula from the mainland. On both sides are breathtaking vertical limestone walls, rising 260 feet high, revealing ancient geological layers compressed over millions of years of history. Although only 4 miles long, humans had to dredge over 424 million cubic feet of earth and rock using primitive late 19th century technology to realize this dream. The strangest point lies at both ends of the canal, with unique submersible bridges, where the asphalt road slowly sinks 40 feet deep to the seabed to make way for ships. Viewed from space, the canal appears as an unrealistically straight pencil line, creating an absolute contrast between the turquoise water and the dry grey stone. This artistic scar is not only a vital transport route, but also a testament to humanity's intense will to conquer nature over thousands of years. Port of Shanghai, China. Dubbed the heart of global trade, this deep-water megaport has reigned supreme as the world's #1 for over a decade. To welcome ocean giants, humans performed a geographical miracle by building the terminal on offshore islands 20 miles from the mainland. Covering thousands of acres, this steel shipyard is so magnificent that it is clearly visible from satellites in outer space. A bridge 20 miles long, curving like a divine dragon over fierce waves, was erected to connect this economic lifeline to the vast continent. Here, millions of colorful containers are stacked endlessly, creating a giant geometric matrix that changes its appearance every hour. When night falls, high-pressure lights transform the bright red Crane Forest into a sci-fi city where machines are the only residents operating the flow of humanity. Louvre, Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Not a solid block, this silver dome is interlaced from 7,850 metal stars to create the illusion of floating amidst the ocean. Beneath it, the architect created an ancient Medina quarter with 55 white buildings connected by turquoise waters. The complex dome structure consists of 8 stacked layers of steel and aluminum, acting as a massive natural light filter. When the harsh sun shines through, it creates a rain of light phenomenon speckling the floor, simulating the shade of desert palm forests. Thanks to this smart design, the interior space is always about 9 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than the outside without consuming too much energy. At night, light reflecting from the water turns the structure into a giant spaceship quietly landing on the dark night sea. Akashi Kaikyo Bridge, Japan. Piercing the cloud layer, the 984-foot-high towers of this bridge float in mid-air like a gateway leading into the heavens. For a quarter of a century, it proudly held the throne as the suspension bridge with the longest main span in the world, with an unimaginable distance of 6,532 feet. To suspend this 2.5-mile-long monster, they braided 36,830 small steel wires into giant main cable bundles with a diameter of 44 inches. The total length of this cable matrix reaches 186,411 miles, enough to wrap around the Earth's equator 7.5 times. Like a living organism, this entire sensitive steel structure can expand or contract up to 7 feet each day under the solar heat. To survive storms, The bridge deck is equipped with a 46-foot high steel truss system resembling a dragon's skeleton, allowing wind to pass through instead of resisting. Danyang Kunshan Grand Bridge, China. Appearing in the fog, hundreds of thousands of these concrete pillars stand straight like a modern terracotta army marching silently across the fields. They support a 102-mile-long artificial dragon, crushing every record to become the longest bridge on the planet in every category. To avoid being swallowed by the muddy land, engineers drove tens of thousands of foundation piles 262 feet deep, equivalent to a 25-story building, buried upside down. At the 6-mile-long section crossing the lake, over 2,000 bridge pillars rise from the deep bottom, turning the vast water surface into a reinforced concrete forest. This giant machine consumed 496,000 tons of steel, enough to cast 65 Eiffel Towers or dozens of nuclear aircraft carriers. Even more miraculously, humanity took only 4 years to assemble these 992-ton beams, like a great puzzle game of giants. Ain Dubai, United Arab Emirates. In the late afternoon, the shadow of this steel monster casts long over the sea, creating a giant sundial, reminding us of the smallness of humans. With its peak hitting 820 feet, this is the tallest observation wheel in human history, where the eye can reach the curvature of the Earth. The heart keeping its rhythm is a spindle weighing 1,990 tons, equivalent to the weight of 4 Airbus A380 aircraft suspended in mid-air. Instead of rigid spokes, the structure is held by 192 steel cables, totaling 1,491 miles in length, enough to connect national borders. "48 transparent glass cabins look like giant diamonds, drifting slowly in a 38-minute journey for visitors to capture the full sunset." When night falls, the integrated LED system turns the wheel rim into a massive circular screen, reflecting down on the dark ocean. Dubai Frame, United Arab Emirates. Not an ordinary skyscraper, this observatory is a hollow sculptural masterpiece, framing the sky with the beauty of the golden ratio. At 492 feet high, this is the only place that lets you see two parallel worlds. One side is the ancient quarter, the other is the forest of futuristic high-rises. The secret of eternal shine lies in an army of autonomous robots, constantly climbing to clean sand dust from the gold-plated metal surface. The most dramatic highlight lies on the connecting bridge at the top, where the floor turns from opaque to transparent as soon as you step on it. Standing on that 269 square foot glass strip, you will feel like you are floating in the void, completely separated from the distant ground below. The interlocking circle patterns on the shell are not just for decoration, but a symbol of connecting civilizations, making it an architectural heritage of the new century. Tokyo Skytree, Japan. Reaching a proud height of 2,080 feet, this tower bears the ancient name Musashi as a reminder of the land's heroic history. Although looking slender, it is cast from 39,683 tons of steel, enough to create 5 stacked Eiffel Towers to replace the old tower that had its signal blocked. To stand firm, its foundation acts like ancient tree roots with spiked steel piles buried 164 feet deep and woven tightly into the ground. The elevators here are Formula One racing machines, taking you from the ground to a height of 1,148 feet in less than 50 seconds. At the observation point, 1,476 feet high, the human eye can exceed flat limits to see the true curvature of the Earth 47 miles away. When night falls, a system of 2,075 LED lights turns the tower into a spiritual torch with three main colors symbolizing spirit, aesthetics, and vibrancy. Putrajaya, Malaysia. Rising like a mirage amidst the tropics, this administrative capital is an architectural symphony where ancient Islamic domes blend with the steel and glass of the future. The heart of the city is an artificial lake covering 1,606 acres, acting as a giant air conditioner to lower the entire area's temperature by about 4 degrees Fahrenheit. Here, German architectural wire mesh technology has created a wall-less sanctuary where natural wind flows through, keeping the space cool without needing any air conditioners. Contrasting with the coldness of steel is another sanctuary built of pink granite with foundations deep underwater, creating the illusion that the entire 1,000-ton structure is floating. Although there is no large natural river, the city possesses 8 unique bridges spanning the lake, turning this place into a proud Venice of the East. All these elements have transformed this land from dry palm oil hills into the most modern and well-planned federal administrative capital of Malaysia. Raffles City, Chongqing, China. Like a fleet of towering sails catching the wind to head out to sea, this mega-metropolis shocks the world with a giant horizontal tower connecting the peaks of skyscrapers. This sky bridge is 984 feet long, an architectural record stretching further than the length of 3 standard football fields combined. To lift the 26 million pound steel structure to a breathtaking height, engineers had to use ultra-slow hydraulics to hoist it off the ground for several long weeks. Inside a crystal shell of 3,000 glass panels, a tropical forest appears with over 120 large tree species and waterfalls flowing in mid-air. When night falls, the smart LED system transforms 8 towers into a magnificent light dance, reflecting the vibrant pulse of life onto the water's mirror. Riyadh Metro, Saudi Arabia. Likened to a heart surgery in the desert, this is the largest automated urban railway system in the world, built in a single phase. To avoid the scorching heat, 7 earth-eating monster machines dug 98 feet underground, creating nearly half the length of 6 train lines. Standing out on the ground are stations shaped like soft sand dunes with no dead angles or stainless steel spaceships landing in the basin. Inside, the harsh sunlight is scattered through the honeycomb mashrabiyah shell, shining down on polished marble floors like a 5-star hotel lobby. Unlike the West, trains here have a clear class division with gold-plated first-class cabins and luxury leather seats to serve the super-rich. The price for this luxury is $23 billion, a huge amount enough to buy 50 Airbus A380 aircraft lined up. Hudson Yards, United States. Like a sci-fi city, this super project does not touch the ground, but floats on an artificial foundation spanning 30 working train tracks. Without 2 concrete platforms weighing 35,000 tons as a shield, this entire magnificent metropolis would collapse right onto the trains below. The price for this arrogance is $25 billion, making it the most expensive private real estate gamble in United States history. Here, a giant honeycomb structure challenges vision with 154 interlaced flights of stairs, making humans look as small as ants. Not stopping there, the art building next door can slide its shell weighing 8,800,000 pounds on giant wheels to transform in just 5 minutes. Finally, a sharp triangular observation deck extends 80 feet into mid-air, looking like a shard of broken glass, piercing the sky at a height of 1,100 feet. One World Trade Center, United States. Rising from the ashes of the September 11th tragedy, this tower is not just reinforced concrete, but an eternal monument of unyielding will. Its peak proudly touches 1,776 feet, a purposeful number symbolizing the year the United States signed the Declaration of Independence. To become an impregnable fortress, it is cast with special concrete capable of withstanding 14,000 pounds per square inch of pressure, 5 times stronger than ordinary sidewalks. The price for this rebirth reached $3.9 billion, making it the most expensive office building on the planet at the time of completion. Its architecture is a geometric magic trick, where the square base gradually transforms into 8 isosceles triangles soaring straight into the sky. In just a 47-second elevator ride, you will witness 500 years of city history recreated through emotional time-lapse footage on LED screens. Three gorgeous ship lift China. Breaking all physical limits, this machine is a giant elevator for ships, helping 1,000-ton vessels fly over the vertical dam wall in the blink of an eye. With unparalleled power, it lifts the entire water tank and the ship weighing 15,500 tons to a height of 370 feet, equal to a 40-story building. The secret behind this miracle is a system of extremely heavy underground concrete counterweights, strongly supporting the electric motors to challenge Earth's gravity. This is a transnational mechanical masterpiece where genius minds took 20 long years to realize this impossible dream. This magical gateway not only shortens the journey from several hours to 40 minutes, but is also a proud symbol of the intersection between human intelligence and majestic nature. Forest City, Malaysia. Built from 212 million cubic yards of sand, this artificial metropolis rises in the strait as a wild human dream to turn the ocean into land. Once expected to be a vertical forest, nature is now swallowing the concrete towers as wild plants turn this place into a territory of snakes. A post-apocalyptic scene covers the long white sand beaches where rusty sunbathing chairs lie lonely under the sun without people. Apartment prices here are 60 times higher than local income, creating a tragic paradox where the rich do not want to stay and the poor cannot reach. The ambition to house 700,000 residents collapsed when, after a decade, the actual occupancy rate did not reach 1%, turning it into the largest ghost city in the world. The fate of the super project hangs by a thread as the parent corporation is carrying a huge debt of $200 billion and standing on the brink of bankruptcy. Gotthard Base Tunnel, Switzerland. Piercing the base of the majestic Alps, this great 35-mile-long structure has dethroned all others to become the longest traffic tunnel in human history. This is where humans go deepest into the Earth's crust, enduring the weight of a rock layer 7,546 feet thick, equivalent to 5 Empire State Buildings stacked on top of each other. To create space for trains to run, humanity had to hollow out 31 million tons of rock from the mountain's belly, enough to rebuild 5 Great Pyramids of Giza. Miraculously, after 14 long years of drilling in the darkness, two giant drills met in the middle of the mountain with an error margin of a mere 3 inches. In that narrow space, passenger trains glide at a speed of 155 miles per hour, demanding a special aerodynamic design to eliminate sonic booms. South-North Water Transfer Project, China. Born from the ambition to reverse nature, this super project is a massive topographical surgery to force rivers to flow backward thousands of miles to the north. With a length of over 2,672 miles, this canal network stretches twice the distance from the northern border to the southern tip of the United States. Each year, a massive amount of water totaling 1,582 billion cubic feet is transported, equal to the capacity of 18 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. To realize this $80 billion dream, humans created flying rivers, suspended high above through concrete aqueducts stretching across valleys. Controlling that fierce flow are giant steel gates, as tall as a 5-story building, standing like gateways to the future. James Webb Space Telescope International. Dubbed the Golden Eye of the Universe, this time machine uses infrared rays to see through eternal night instead of visible light. Its power is so immense that it can capture light from 13.5 billion years ago, witnessing the first stars turn on after the Big Bang. Unlike its predecessor orbiting Earth, it drifts lonely around the Sun at a distance of nearly 1 million miles to hide in absolute darkness. Because of its giant size equal to a tennis court, engineers were forced to design it like an origami work to fold neatly and self-unfold in space. The mirror system, 21 feet wide, is made of beryllium, coated with pure gold, but the gold layer is so thin that it weighs only 1.7 ounces. Protecting that cold heart is a 5-layer heat shield as thin as human hair, but possessing a sun protection factor, SPF of up to 1 million. NASA Vehicle Assembly Building, United States. Resembling a garage for gods, this one-story building is the birthplace of the greatest space rockets in human history. Its interior space is incredibly vast, enough to swallow 3.5 Empire State Buildings or the entire Pentagon, while still having room. To support a steel mass, heavier than a heavy aircraft carrier, 4,225 foundation piles were driven 164 feet deep into the rock below the swamp. It possesses the tallest doors in the world, reaching 456 feet, where the time to fling open the gate to space takes 45 minutes. Covering the facade is a giant painted flag with stripes 9 feet wide, as big as a bus, and stars large enough for a person to lie inside. Ruling from the high ceiling is a 358-ton crane, powerful enough to lift a locomotive or a blue whale into the air. Lotus Temple, India. Shining like an immortal spiritual flower, this temple has transformed lifeless concrete blocks into a mesmerizing geometric masterpiece, attracting millions of hearts every year. This unique structure is shaped from 27 pure white marble petals, the same precious material that created the legendary Parthenon thousands of years ago. Surrounding the flower are 9 deep blue pools, acting as a giant natural air conditioning system to soothe the scorching tropical heat. Stepping inside, you will be overwhelmed by the vast hall 111 feet high, but with absolutely no supporting pillars, creating an endless open space. In this place, all lenses must stop to give way to silence, so that the miraculous beauty of the sanctuary is only preserved perfectly in memory. Shanghai World Financial Center, China. Like a giant magic sword piercing the night, this tower proudly asserts its position with a mysterious trapezoidal hole at its highest peak. With an incredible height of 1,614 feet, the project consumed a massive 65,000 tons of steel, enough to build an entire heavy aircraft carrier. That unique hole is not just an architectural touch, but a vital shield, helping to tear through fierce storm winds to protect the steel structure inside. To stand firm on soft alluvial soil, over 2,000 steel piles were driven 262 feet deep into the bedrock to create an immutable foundation. The sharpness of the beveled edges glowing in cold white LED lights has led locals to fondly call this superstructure the world's bottle opener. The journey of conquest ends on the 100th floor, where steps on the transparent glass floor will make your brain tremble before the deep abyss. Grand Canal, China. Cutting across the continent like an eternal water silk ribbon, this 2,500-year-old wonder is the legendary transport artery connecting the wealthy north and south. With an astonishing length of 1,104 miles, it stretches 10 times longer than the Suez Canal, becoming the longest man-made cut humans ever created on Earth. To write this epic, 6 million people had to shed sweat and blood under harsh supervision to clear the flow across centuries. The canal embraces ancient cities in its heart, where millions of houses reflect on the lake with windows that open to touch the mossy waves. When night falls, tens of thousands of bright red lanterns reflect on the river of light, creating a haunting and breathtakingly magnificent beauty. Overcoming the dust of time, this World Heritage is still pulsing vividly, proudly holding its position as the oldest operating canal system on the planet. Shanghai Maglev, China. Rejecting the concept of wheels and axles entirely, this is the only operating commercial high-speed magnetic levitation line on the planet. A powerful electromagnetic system lifts the entire fuselage, hovering exactly 0.4 inches above the concrete guideway, just the thickness of a phone. The train itself has no engine, as the track is the giant machine generating magnetic fields to pull it surfing like a magnetic skateboard. With a top speed of 268 miles per hour, it accelerates from 0 to 186 miles per hour in just 2 minutes and 15 seconds, far outstripping any Formula One race car. When cornering, the concrete guideway tilts sharply, compressing passengers into their seats, just like being on a banking airplane. Despite possessing complex German technology, China took only 2.5 years to complete this project, a record that stunned Western engineers. Jin Mao Tower, China. Like a steel lotus rising from the ground, this pagoda tower is a perfect blend of futuristic technology and mysterious Oriental Feng Shui philosophy. With a height of 1,381 feet, the project is a hymn to prosperity, as every detail from 88 floors to the octagonal base revolves around the lucky number 8. The secret lies at the heart of the tower, where a giant atrium 499 feet high opens a mesmerizing abyss of light within the architecture. Standing in mid-air and looking into that giant kaleidoscope, you will feel the absolute silence of a timeless masterpiece.